Not to brag, but what a time to be childless. I mean, I woke up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, made coffee in silence, and the only person screaming in my house.
But in this economy, no thank you. Like I go to the grocery store and I'm thinking, if I have a kid, it would financially ruin me.
If I did not already have kids in 2025, there's no way I'd be having kids.
What a time to be childless, with rent prices, spiked mortgages, increased property taxes, increased crime rates, layoffs. Everything feels like it's shifting faster than we can catch our breath. A lot is going on. So when people say they're grateful for being childless right now, I don't take it as shade towards parents. I take it as reality, because being a parent right now is not for the faint of heart. I was talking to my dad a few weeks ago, and he told me when we were growing up, he made $15 an hour. He was able to take care of a family of 6 with $15 an hour. Those days are long gone. And to think about having kids right now in this economy, it honestly scares me. Not because I think I won't be sufficed or I won't be able to provide for my child, but it's because the state of the world right now in America is unpredictable. We're living in a very dystopian time. Things that I would have never imagined are happening. We have a felon as a president. Our branches, our government are not communicating. A lot is going on. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing how it feels to be a parent in these times, or to be childless in today's economy.
Can all my women in their 30s tell me what it's like to not have kids?
Hi, I'm 33 and I have no kids. And I have no kids by choice. And I don't want kids. I personally don't think this creator did anything wrong having kids in her 30s. I don't think there is a perfect time to have kids. I don't think you'll ever be ready to have kids. As long as you wanted kids, then you're good. You're solid. The kids are going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. But me personally, I don't want kids. I've never wanted kids. You see my house, it's beige as fuck because I don't have kids. My dog, she's not here right now, but she's beige. She fits the aesthetic. I'm too selfish to have kids, plain and simple. I'm too selfish to have kids. And that's just because I was raised in a Latino household where I practically raised my brothers and sisters, including my mom. I raised her too. So I've been raising people my entire life. I don't want to do it anymore. My mom has scarred me from ever wanting children. My mom says that when I was like 15, or probably even younger, I always said that I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I don't want, I can't imagine the life that I live now. And it's not like I do anything wild. It's not like I'm fucking going out every single day. I truly like my peace. My house is always quiet. Listen, when my sister, I have a 10-year-old sister. When my sister says, Vicky, I want to, but I'm not. Can you imagine if that was mommy? I simply can't do it. Shout out to all the mothers out there doing it, killing it, single mothers. I was raised by a single mother like you guys. You guys on the bomb.com. But me, simply, I could never do it. I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. I choose not to do it. I'm too selfish with my time. I don't care what the men on this app got to say. Oh, you look old. No man's ever going to want you anyway. I don't care. Pookie, I simply don't care. Look at me. I'm so happy. I can't do it, but it's not for me. My life's great, and I don't think women that have children, I don't think your life sucks. And I don't understand this beef between women that have children and women who don't have children. Like, you guys want to rave about your kids. I love that for you. I want to rave about the fact that I don't have kids and I never will. So I think we should just unite, love each other, say fuck them kids together.
I love people that know what they want. She said that she knew at a very young age that she did not want to have kids. And I think this is where the confusion comes in, because there's a lot of people that only want to have kids because society tells us, oh, you should want to have kids. You should do this at a certain age. You should do this. And if you don't do it, you're a failure. Or if you don't have kids, or if you don't live out your destiny to procreate, then your life is wasteful. And nowadays we have a lot of women that's just unapologetically about them not wanting to have kids. and they stand on that. And like she said, it's not because she dislikes kids or she hates kids, because she had to raise herself. She said that she had to raise her mother, she had to raise her cousins, and this is the ramifications of a person that had a child that was not ready. That's why I don't like when people get really angry when somebody has an opposing view of them not wanting to have kids. They're like, why don't you want to have kids? Kids is what life is all about. And it's just like, this reminds me of the American dream. They told us from a very young age we should want to go to college, we should then get an amazing job, and then after we get the amazing job, then we should buy a house, and then we should have a family, then we should get married. And y'all see what is going on right now in today's age. You cannot let society or people tell you what you want to have, because you end up with kids raising kids and passing down past trauma. So I love that she knows what she wants and what she never wanted. Somebody commented on that video and said, first time I'll have to disagree with you. Children may be a lot of work, but they bring out the best in us, something we never thought we would be able to do, but we are. We are richer because we must, for them to have a good life. We got reborn into our real personalities, and it's just magical, sweet, and undescribable. It's a lot of work, yes, but it's a whole more lot of love. I love this comment because it highlights people not being able to agree to disagree. You may have wanted to have your child because you needed a child to be more disciplined. You needed a child to say, okay, if I can't live for myself, if I can't get my things in order for myself, I would have to do it for my child. But everybody doesn't need that push. Everybody don't need to have a child at a very young age to feel like they are going to be successful in life. But I do agree with that. Some people do need that push. Some people say that they do live for their children. I have seen a lot of instances where kids go off to college and they are their own identity, and now parents, they just don't know what to do. They don't know what to live for. They don't know what to work for, because their children was always their why. I love both sides of that, but at the same time, everybody don't need that push to be able to have a successful life or live the life that they want to live.
When you ain't got no damn kids, you can do like this. I just got home from work. The only damn thing I hear is my thoughts. And when I get out this bathtub, you know what I'm finna do? Not a goddamn thing. And probably in about an hour or two, I'm gonna go get me some dinner. For me. Fucking your chicken strips, nigga. And after dinner, I'm gonna take me a nap. In silence. I ain't gotta do homework. I can do homework. Two different H's, baby. And when it come to that damn kitchen, don't let my dishes next mine. And I'm gonna clean them tomorrow. Hell, I might even go to the movies tonight. And go see Weapons. Them dogs too. Why you taking Scruffy out? I'm playing with mine. So the moral of the story is, it ain't gotta be one. Cause I ain't got no damn kids. And while I'm on this thought process, anybody got any kids I can claim for next year's taxes?
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But a lot of people do not want to have kids because of the freedom, and I feel them on that. That's simply why I'm waiting to have kids. You know how people say, I cannot wait? I can wait, where I have so much flexibility, so much freedom to be able, like if I wanted to go to the airport right now, I could do that. If I had a child, I would need to find a babysitter. I would need to pack bags. I would need to make sure that I have a village. I have somebody that is responsible enough to even watch my child. You know, it's just a lot of different things that I would have to have in order. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm not having kids right now, because the flexibility, and mentally, I do not feel like I'm ready to have a child right now. But I love his sentiment on that. Like, the freedom is unmatched. Somebody said, as a mom of 4 lovely kids, I actually love seeing people enjoy life without kids. You know why? Because I hate seeing people have children they don't truly want. Live your life, enjoy it. As long as you're not hurting anyone, that's something to celebrate. And then someone said, me in the tub with no kids watching you. And then just people are just celebrating in the comments of not having kids. And I love that. Like, I love that for people, because there's a lot of people that unfortunately they want kids, but they cannot have kids. And then there's a lot of people that had kids and they don't even want the kids, and they make miserable kids, and miserable kids end up turning to miserable adults because they didn't want to raise them. They didn't want to be there. And now we have a whole bunch of traumatized adults walking around, and they don't know why they're hurt, because they were raised by a parent that never wanted to love them or didn't know how to love them.
This is my very hot take, but if I did not already have kids in 2025, there's no way in hell I'd be having kids. Number one, grandparents are still working. Neighbors aren't willing to take care of your children. Everybody is just trying to keep their heads barely above water. So there is no more village. Don't even get me started on the economy. It's an absolute joke. Childcare can be more than rent. School lunches are expensive, and shopping for the groceries feels like a damn luxury. Also, it's way too many moms that are solo parenting in a two-parent household. They're carrying all the mental load, signing all the school forms, going to all the doctor's appointments, handling all the damn discipline, and they got to go to work too. Then it's hustle culture. Everybody is working two jobs, mandatory, or they got some sort of side hustle. All of this extra time that you could be investing into children, you're not able to do anymore. It just doesn't exist. Those are just a few reasons why I say just don't have kids. Parenting in 2025 feels like an extreme sport that nobody trained us for. It's no way I'd have kids in 2025. Just don't have them.
She ain't lie with that. Daycare does cost more than some people's rent. I have friends with kids and they told me that they are going to be not working. They're going to sacrifice being a stay-at-home mom, not because they want to, because they have to. If they did go to work, their entire paycheck would go to childcare because they're at work. So instead, they're sacrificing by staying home and being a stay-at-home mom because they have to. And that's the reality for a lot of people. A lot of people think that, oh, you have daycare, you have grandma, you have family. Those days are gone for a lot of people. A lot of people do not have family support. When I was growing up, I remember we had so much family and friends over. Like, even if my mom or my parents wanted to go out, we had cousins over, uncles over, and it wasn't just because, oh, we needed somebody to watch them, but no, we just always had family over. I feel like we were closer back in like the mid 2000s or early 2000s. Nowadays, I live away from my family. I live in a completely different state. I don't have any family in the state of Texas. But when I was in Florida, the family gatherings, the support, the daycare, the family nights, the outings, those things are taboo in a lot of households now. And it's really sad because it's not so much because people don't want to prioritize family, but it's because we're working. Retirement used to be 60 to 65, but nowadays people are working in their 80s and 90s, not because they want to, because they have to. A grandparent job used to be just to take care of the kids, but those days are gone. Pensions and savings are absolutely exhilarated in today's times due to the economy. I'm going to read one of the comments. Now schools are getting rid of school buses. I have to pick up both of my kids. That's just more work of being a parent. I remember the days where my mom used to say, if you miss that school bus, you are not going to school. So the fact that they're trying to get away from public transportation is crazy. Somebody said, my dad is 74 and still works. I feel so bad, but I can't do much. And that's literally the reality, y'all. My parents had me very young. So if I was to have a child right now, I wouldn't have that village, not because my parents are not wanting to be supportive, but because they still have to get up and go to work. They had me at a young age. So my parents are not midlife yet. They're still in their 40s. So that's just the reality of it. Somebody else said, my daughter is 19 and she doesn't want kids and I'm okay with whatever makes her happy. Somebody else says groceries are a luxury. She didn't lie. You go to the grocery store and you stare at the produce and your bill at $150. You think about putting it in your buggy and you already up $150. Someone said no lies, no judgment, but I don't see how people are having kids in America. This country is scary. It really is. My biggest goal is to prevent pregnancy until menopause. Another comment said pregnancy. She said, I would honestly feel guilty for creating life and forcing them to deal with all of this. It feels selfish at this point. And the crazy thing is there's nothing we can do about it. Like, we are living in some of the last days. We're living in a very dystopian time and we don't know what to do because this is the first time anything like this has ever happened.
I'm so happy that women are coming together online to tell the truth about motherhood because I'm 34 and a child-free woman. And one of the reasons why I'm child-free is because I don't think people take parenting seriously enough. I started my career working as a special education teacher in low-income school districts. I love kids. I think that they are the most important part of our society and our village. I also think that society trivializes motherhood and devalues the amount of work that goes into being a mother and the dangerous aspects of pregnancy. Like, I've been told by so many people that I should just have kids, get it over with, rip the band-aid off, as if it's like some benchmark for living a full and complete life. Did you see the backlash Aisha Curry got for being honest about her feelings on motherhood? But just because I love kids, it does not mean that I am equipped to be a mom. And kids can feel when you are not enjoying being a parent. And did you know that in this country, it is safer for me to become a cop than it is for me to go into a hospital and give birth as a Black woman? Pregnancy is not a health neutral activity in any way, actually. Did you know that a woman's brain decreases in size during pregnancy? And for women who have struggled with their mental health, they can have postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, never mind the risk of suddenly becoming a single parent. And as a woman, I see my girlfriends who struggle with motherhood. I see my own mother who is having her own life struggles because of motherhood. And I'm not saying motherhood is all bad. It really suits a lot of women. But as a society, we need to be okay with women making their own decisions about this stuff. So me being child free is a pillar, a beacon to other women that you don't need to follow that route. Another reason why I'm child free, and really simply put, is because I love my life exactly the way it is. I am on a hike after sleeping in midweek. I own my own business, so I might work today, I might not. I am free because no one depends on me. I don't even own my home. I rent. I could pick up and move states tomorrow if I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'm good exactly how I am. If you agree with this message or it resonates with you, make sure to hit all the buttons. I also have a free health and wellness blog in my bio if you like intersectional feminism.
I love that. That was a beautiful message. I like that she was able to get her message across, but she wasn't putting down people with child. She was just saying, this is why I don't have a child, and I can concur with some of that. A lot of women are not having kids because the likelihood of you being a single mother is very high. That's why one of my non-negotiables is I'm not having a child until I'm married. And no, marriage does not keep a man from leaving you, but it does decrease the probability of you being a single mom. At least you know somebody is willing enough and serious enough about you and your child that they would commit to spending the rest of their lives with you. A lot of people are out here just having kids with men, one night stands, or people they have known under 2 years. And I'm not saying if you haven't really known a person and you have a child with them, it's the worst thing ever. But we know broken households where two parents are not living in them, the probability of your child being in jail, prison, or just not doing well is much higher than a two-parent household. See a comment that I wanted to highlight. Someone said, where's the comment? Okay. Someone said pregnancy is health negative. Even if it goes exactly how it's supposed to, it's still a health negative. She said, yes, spot on, girlfriend. My mom is a nurse and midwife and has always been super honest with me about that. Didn't stop her for asking for grandchildren though. All through my last marriage. People have kids just to have kids. They don't have a plan. And that is the issue. A lot of people, I would like to say most of everybody that have a child, they did not plan for children. And I want to break that generational curse in my family. When I have a child, it's because I'm planning to have a child. I don't want to have a child and my child is an accident, even though I was not planned. I was an accident. And I'm happy that my mother did go through her accident. But I say all of that to say, I feel like you would have a much more successful, or your child would have a much more fulfilling life if you wanted to have them. Everything was set up. And like they say, there is no perfect parent. You can't be perfect. You just kind of have to learn as you go. But I do feel like if a child was wanted, the outcome of them having a more fulfilling life and a more fulfilling future is promised, rather than you just having a oopsie doo and you kind of just going with the flow. Someone else commented and said 51 and it's still the best decision I've ever made. I'm happy that she's happy with her decision because I've seen both sides of it. I have family members that's well over the childbearing age, and sometimes they think about how life would have been if they would have had a child, and then you have other people that's completely content with their decision. Let's watch another video.
The reason why parenting feels harder for millennial moms is because we're trying to meet emotional and psychological needs that were never met for us. We're trying to raise emotionally intelligent children while healing from the emotional neglect we didn't even realize we experienced. We were told having food, clothes, and a roof over our heads meant we were fine, but now we know that wasn't enough. We're trying to break generational curses without ever seeing what that actually looks like, and we're doing it under the weight of social media pressure, zero community support, and completely unrealistic expectations of what it means to be a good mom. Who said that?
OMG. Y'all, that is crazy. When she said we're doing it under unrealistic expectations, a lot of us didn't grow up in therapy. We didn't grow up expressing our feelings. We didn't grow up, like, if I was to respond back to my mom in a dispute, that's called talking back in my household and a lot of other households. A lot of us never grew up with soft parenting. So it's a beautiful thing now that we have the internet and we have the exposure and the knowledge now to know that by beating a child, that is not critiquing a child. The reality is a lot of people didn't have parents that knew these things. They just passed down generational trauma that their parents did. This is a lot of people's first time living in a world where soft parenting is taught. With my parents and my grandparents and their grandparents and their parents, they were taught you beat a child to get the results that you want. And we have now known what soft parenting is. Beating a child is only teaching them that you should beat or hit people to get what you want. And a lot of us, we didn't know that. We didn't have that opportunity because our parents only knew so much, and having access to information wasn't so accessible. You only knew what you knew and it was okay. Now you have so many different midwives and doctors and nurses and people that work with kids and therapists opinions online. Oh, what you should do, what you shouldn't. It's really just a lot. And a lot of us are also learning for the first time that having a child is more than just feeding and clothing. You don't know how many times where I've heard parents say, oh, I'm a good parent because I had food on the table. They never went unclothed. They never went unfed. And just like it's more than just having a kid and being able to provide for them. What about mentally? Are you meeting them with their mental and spiritual needs? A lot of parents aren't because they didn't know no better. I do want to read a few comments from that video. Someone said, I hate being a mom and she has 3 kids. Kids know when you don't want them. No matter how loudly you pretend that you do want them, they know that you don't want them. And why shame women who know they don't want to and decide not to? I'll never understand it. And I think that's the nuances that people miss. You can love being child-free, but still appreciate and see the beauty in parenthood. You can love and miss silence, but still enjoy and love your kids. You don't have to choose between. I think when people get offended, they're like, well, I love my kids. I don't care what no one say. I would never. No one's asking you to take them back, but you can also say, oh, I also love peace. I also love stillness. I also love quietness. And sometimes when you have kids, those things are not your reality for a while just because you made the sacrifice and decision to have a child. Let me know whether you have a child, you got a baby on your hip right now, or if you got a remote as a baby. Like if you got a remote right now in a blanket right now, let me know, how do you feel about being a parent or being child free in today's time? I love y'all and I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace. Mwah.